Welcome into Double Up, very special episode for a special week with a special guest, the one and only Kiersten Duke. And look at where we are, Bondi Beach, Sydney, Australia. Kiersten, it's Everest week, richest race around the tube. You can start to feel that buzz.
You really can. I love that we're in an iconic location to discuss an iconic event. Now a Group 1.
Yeah, nice.
Such exciting news coming into this. The richest race on turf. $20 million. I don't even know what I'd do if I won that money. I actually don't think I can legally say it.
I'll give you a couple ideas, KD, but we'll get to that maybe off air. You're walking around downtown Sydney, you're walking around here, Bondi Beach, about 10 minutes away from Royal Randwick. There's whispers that maybe there could be a special guest rolling through Saturday, Friday night for you guys in North America. But what makes it so special? Is it the prize money? Is it the $20 million Australian? Is it having some of the best talent from all around the world trying to have their time?
I think it's a combination of things. And yeah, I like what you alluded to there. We might have a little bit of royal to put the royal in Randwick, shall we say? Is that a good enough hint? I don't know. But yeah, I think it is all those things combined. I think the fact it is a fast sprint race, I think that attracts the younger generation. Think about how we love to consume things now. We like it fast, we like it right there on the dot, and that is what this race does. It is glamorous, it is that prize money, it's expensive, the fashion, they've put so much into the food track side, and there is also a very big English and Irish population here in Bondi and Coogee. You mentioned we're 10 minutes from the track, and famous British DJ Joel Corry is going to be playing after the last, so I think they've nailed the demographic.
Does that mean I'm too old? I've just missed the boat. I don't know the DJ.
You don't know?
Is that about 4?
Will you educate yourself?
Unbelievable, but hey,
no, look,
I'll be there in the mosh pit.
Mosh pit, I think your poolside at Ibiza, it is that type of vibe. It is that vibe. It is so fun. So
Las Vegas pool party.
Yes.
I'll throw that in. Las Vegas pool party.
Yes.
Okay. That's what it's got to be, right? You know, to get the young ones going to the track, to compete. You know, in Australia, it's with rugby, it's with Aussie rules football. In the States, it's NBA, it's NFL, but you've got to give something more than just a great race. You know, for maybe the race goers who haven't dabbled playing the ponies before, you've got to give them the specialty chef options, the great food, the entertainment off the track. And of course, when it is such fantastic racing, we can make a couple of bucks on the wagering side as well.
I mean, that's always the plan, isn't it? But I tell you what, the field this year, I feel like I say this every year, it just gets stronger and stronger. It's like you could be blindfolded, throw a dart at a board, and whatever runner you get, you'd be probably happy with that selection because they're that good.
Is that the way you're going to see it playing out? So we've got 12 runners going in to the starting gate. It's slot style entry, so you need to pay for your starting spot. As of last night, it's a sellout on course on Saturday. You look at the market, you look at the field, I Wish I Win, very close last year. Returns for this one, sitting right around $5, 6 to 1 in the local markets. Is this the horse to beat?
Look, I can see why he is the favourite, I'll be honest with you, but there is also a reason that it's 5 to 1 the field.
Yeah.
It is an open market and there is a good chance to find some value. I Wish I Win, as you alluded to, was second last year. He's been, I think what's so fantastic is how consistent he is. He's a 6-year-old, and over the years, granted the Everest has only been run about 7 times, but 3-year-olds have won on 2 occasions. Generally, these more experienced horses can get the job done. He's a 6-year-old and he's still racing so consistently at Group 1 level, and he goes on all tracks. The weather this week leading into the race has been a little bit up and down, let's say.
Yeah.
1 minute it's sunny, the next minute it's raining, and we don't know how the track is going to play out. So I think to play it safe, we want the likes of I Wish I Win, who can handle Group 1 pressure on any ground, which he has done time and time throughout his career. Does this give us an opportunity, though, to whittle down the field and say, okay, well, what other runners can do this? What other runners consistently perform at high-class level over all different grounds? Well, then you can look at the likes of Sunshine in Paris.
Yeah.
She's an amazing storyline. I know this is only the 8th edition of the Everest, but a mare has never won and a female trainer has never trained a winner. Could this be the year?
Do you think it is? I mean, the girls are up against, we've got 5 mares, 5 of the 12 going into Saturday's big race with a good chance.
I think she can do it. I think Sunshine in Paris, she's a runner who goes on all grounds. She's a little bit older. Annabelle Neesham has her primed. She recently trialled in, I don't know if you caught it, but we kind of nicknamed it the GOAT trial. It was a trial at Royal Randwick where it was all these incredible Group 1 sprinters and it was the best of the best. And when I tell you, Tommy Berry, the jockey, pulled her up got off and was beaming ear to ear and said, that's the best feeling I've got from a horse in a long time.
That's a big statement.
If that's not the inside scoop that you want going into Saturday, I don't know what is.
Okay, that's what we want to hear. You can play along FanDuel Racing. You can watch along the Everest coming up from Royal Randwick Friday night on FanDuel TV. So that's a jockey to watch, a pilot to watch. Who's another name for our North American viewers who are looking to jump in, play the Randwick card, a name that stands out to you, who can maybe maximise the mount and still hold a bit of value?
I think at value and to maximise the mount, the likes of Natural Willer on I Am Me draws very favourably on that inside, which in Australia, we absolutely love those inside draws. The time that he rode this horse to victory 2 starts ago, he just nailed it.
Yeah.
The timing, he is one of the best jockeys when it comes to a photo finish. He is so strong in the saddle. He's been in the game for so long now that the clock in his head to time a run is chef's kiss, absolute perfection.
And tactics is a big part of it, KD. You know, with your role at Sky Racing, you cover a lot of the international racing. I know we're getting set for the Breeders' Cup over in my neck of the woods down there at Del Mar, but in North America, it's more early speed rules the game. Here, a lot of the jockeys, they look for that spot. They may sit 1 or 2 off the pace. It's that final furlong, it's that fitness, it's that savage towards the white. But that's what makes the good jockey so good.
Absolutely. I think to have that nerve, to hold that nerve and to wait and wait and wait until you've peeled around the turn to then go, now, bang. To be able to time that and hold your nerve, I'd be so stressed out. This is why I'm not a jockey. I'd be so stressed out, I'd be off and scrubbing before the turn. I'd be freaking out. So the fact that they can do that so well and time it to perfection on, you know, knowing the length of the straight of Royal Randwick is so impressive.
What do you make of Chris Waller? A lot of our viewers will recognise Chris Waller, the success behind Wings. Has Jolly Star, who had a pretty favourable post position drawn there last night. What do you make of the chances for it?
Well, I think what's so interesting about Jolly Star is Chris Waller's previously trained an Everest winner in the form of Yes, Yes, Yes. And he came out and said Jolly Star has a very similar profile to Yes, Yes, Yes. So that's another good little insight. If you did really like Jolly Star, if it's being backed by the trainer, you're in safe hands.
And you know, there's always a lot of polish from the big barns, especially back here from the likes of a Chris Waller. Royal Randwick, packed house, 20 million up for grabs. You're going to be watching. We're going to be there live on site. Where does it stack up in terms of venues for you? Obviously from the UK, now calling Sydney home, but give us the top 3. Kiersten Duke, top 3 ballparks
in the world. In the world. Yeah. I think, okay, for different reasons. I think that for the next generation and overall product of creating that atmosphere, that party atmosphere after the last, the fast, the glamorous, Royal Randwick has that.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing. I think for prestige, and it's going to sound the most British thing you've ever heard, Royal Ascot, obviously.
Yeah.
For prestige and history, Royal Ascot is absolutely amazing. Actually, do you know a racetrack that really surprised me that I enjoyed? Meydan in Dubai.
Yeah.
The difference of, it was nothing I'd ever experienced before. The different culture, the different way of doing things. That really surprised me and I really enjoyed it. I thought that was a really nice experience.
And so much money coming into the sport, but it really feels like a global game. You know, a lot of the big Japanese raiders and runners are coming across to Australia, vice versa. They're going across to North America. And when the prize purses are so rich, you know, in excess of 20 mil plus, that's what it's going to look like in the next 5-10 years. It doesn't matter if it's in Australia, North America, the big names, the big connections, they're going to try and swoop to have that big score.
Well, I think also what's so important to know is when you have the likes of the Breeders' Cup going on, which is worldwide known, it attracts horses from all over the world. It is one of the most fantastic carnivals. How on earth then do you compete with that here in Sydney? Because if you're an English person or an English trainer, maybe the likes of Aidan O'Brien, who regularly travels over to the Breeders' Cup, why would you then choose to take your horse to Sydney over America, which is closer? You've been racing there for years. You know how it all works. And I think the answer to that is prize money.
Yeah.
And that is why the Everest had to be a $20 million race, because otherwise, why else would you travel all this way to compete? And to compete with something like the Breeders' Cup, you almost would look at that and go, I'm not even going to try to compete, to be honest. So it just, it had to be done if they were going to give it a good crack.
And they wanted an impact day one. They've absolutely got it coming into the 8th edition of the Everest. So that's a good transition. Let's talk a little Breeders' Cup. First weekend of November from down there at the Seaside Oval, Del Mar. And there's, I guess, a lot of buzz, a lot of build-up once we get through the Everest, because we've got Aussie connections, US connections, Aidan O'Brien, one of the best.
Oh, it's all happening, isn't it, at this time of year, you know, with the $20 million tab Everest on Saturday. Now we're Group 1. And then we back up with the Breeders' Cup, which is known worldwide and attracts, as you said, the best of the best. Aidan O'Brien just overcame Charlie Appleby in the global rankings regarding trainers. At Royal Ascot, he trained his 400th Group 1 winner. Most trainers want to train just one Group 1 winner, 400.
It's amazing. And what do you make of, I guess, the move? City of Troy, considered to be one of the best racehorses in the world right now, will go in the Classic, will run on the dirt for the very first time at Del Mar, but looks to be well suited if you go off the lines.
Yeah, absolutely. By Justify, I think we also saw at the York Ebor Festival that he really enjoyed that high cruising speed. And Ryan Moore said, look, honestly, he didn't really lengthen his stride and open up until the absolute last minute. So if the jockey like Ryan Moore is saying, I think he'll suit the American way of racing, and he's got that breeding line of Justify, I think he's going to be suited down to the ground. I think he'll be very impressive. It's
going to be a cracking race. Aidan O'Brien, certainly considered to be one of the best trainers in the world right now, with a lot of great life chances going in to the Breeders' Cup. We're also going to see a lot of the Japanese raiders coming across the pond. I believe we've got 19 that are scoped there on the entries. Is there a standout for you out of the Japanese contingent?
Firstly, how strong are the Japanese? They're breeding, they're racing. We had a Japanese runner come over here to Sydney in the form of Obam Buramai and fly in the Golden Eagle. It was the most dominant, impressive performance. And I feel like wherever the Japanese go with their horses, they make their presence felt. And I think that is going to come in the form of Ushba Tesoro. This runner is aging like fine wine. He started out on the turf in the early years. He's now 7 years old and is racing amazingly on the dirt. He's got a Dubai World Cup in 2023 under his name. He was second in the Dubai World Cup 2024. He's competed in the Saudi Cup. What can't he do? I think he's going to really be impressive.
Yeah, it was amazing. Once going through that surface switch, the light bulb just absolutely went off. Yoshito Yahagi, also a trainer to watch. He's had success at the Breeders' Cup, brings in Forever Young, one of the star 3-year-olds in the game right now. We've seen Yahagi back here at Sydney Royal Round Week, having himself a time. Maybe one of the best, can we say, dancers out there on the dance floor. Really knows how to cut some shapes. a bit like myself. Let's stick Aussie connections. Rachel King, local rider here in Australia, also going to be headed to the Breeders' Cup.
So get this, she's not only going to be riding in the $20 million Everest on Saturday, she's going to say, yeah, thank you, nailed that. And then she's going to head to America and be the first Aussie-based rider to compete there. She's literally making history. And I think linking in the Japanese, she's got a really strong chance, because Mr. Hori has a fantastic horse in the form of Satono Carnival. I hope I said that name right. It's hard with the accent.
It sounded right to me.
It sounded about right. Yeah. But Mr. Hori has a really good chance with that runner. And I think in the hands of Rachel King, they've teamed up together previously in Japan and they've done well. Why not take that overseas? He is a trainer that has taken horses all over the world. Japan, Hong Kong, Dubai, America. He knows what it takes for a horse to travel well over there. And I think she's in ultra safe hands.
And it's a sign of the times that some of the best riders are now, I guess, competing on this Sydney circuit week in, week out. Now we get to see Rachel over there at Del Mar trying to take down some of the very best with a very live chance there in Soto Carnival. So excited for it.
You nailed the pronunciation.
I don't know.
You nailed that.
We'll leave that one up to the judges. Aidan O'Brien is your trainer to watch. City of Troy with a realistic chance in the Classic. Your Japanese radar to keep eyes on is going to be Ushba Tesoro.
Yes.
Cannot wait. Are you coming across first weekend in November?
You know, I have never been to America for the racing.
You're kidding?
I know. I need to come trackside.
What do you think would be the biggest standout for you? What's different from what you see in the UK to here in Australia and to what you cover over there in North America? What are the differences?
I think American racing is a league of its own. I think it's so different and so niche, whether it's the training methods, how the horses are stabled, to the fact that every horse has their own pony.
Yeah.
That's a real novelty to me. I think the first time that I ever saw that, I thought it was adorable that they all had their own little mate with them, taking them up to the start. I loved it. Yes, you don't get to see them stretch out up to the start as the magnificent beasts that they are, but I think there's something really sweet about having that care with their little friends with them before they, you know, go out and perform at their absolute best. I think it's really sweet. I think the glamour is amazing. I love the glitz and the glamour. I love that it attracts people worldwide. It is known worldwide, and you race under different conditions. And I think to adapt to that is really interesting. I just think American racing is a league of its own, and I think the whole package is so intriguing.
Yeah, it really is. The Breeders' Cup World Championships cannot come fast enough. Just a couple of great fans of the international game, and we get to see it this weekend with the $20 million Tab Everest from Royal Randwick, and then we're going to throw it in to the first weekend of November with the Breeders' Cup. Kiersten Duke, the one and only Sky Racing host, analyst, international extraordinaire. KD, we appreciate the time.
I love that rap. Thank you so much. Can I wake up every day and just have you say that to me? It'll boost my ego a little bit.
I tell you what, you can finish this thing up. I'm going to go get the trunks out. Time for a little swim. Let's go.
Off he goes.